Thank you, Marshall.
All right.
Hi, everybody. Today is March 20th, 2024. This is the Wednesday's CalPads Q and A. My name is Alex Manriquez. I'm a data analyst at CISA supporting CalPads. And driving for us today is Mr. Gary Kerwer.
Hello.
We're going to move on to announcements, and there are quite a few. But first off, Fall 2 is over. Yay. Um, Thank you everybody for all your hard work, making sure that you meet the deadlines. We truly appreciate it, and your hard work doesn't go unnoticed. So thank you for that. But as you know, no rest for the weary. The end of year submission is right around the corner. Submission window opens on May 7th. Now, what that means is that you are going to be able to see certification reports and you're going to see certification errors in starting on May 7th. However, it doesn't mean that you wait until May 7th to start uploading your data, right? So our recommendation is that you start working on end of year now. If your data is clean and you've done validations in your SIS, there's no reason why you can't go ahead and upload your end of year files now. Moving on to flashes, there were 3 flashes this week. We're going to start with Flash 267. And thank you, Gary. This is a reminder for all you folks that haven't RFEP'd your students throughout the year to please make sure that you're updating that RFEP status by May 15th. Also, a reminder that you can use the 22-23 summative LPAC or summative alternative LPAC scores to RFEP those students, of course, meeting all the other RFEP qualifications. So again, that's just a reminder to update RFEP status by May 15th of this year. Flash 268. This is a new data collection called State Seal of Civic Engagement. And it's a new data element that's going to be considered as a new measure for CCI. The data collected will be outside of CalPads, so it's a whole different system. I think it's the EDCS, something education data collection. Yeah, education data collection system. And this is only for those LEAs that are participating in that State Seal of Civic Engagement. So if your district doesn't have that program, then you can go ahead and ignore this flash. But first, double check to make sure that you don't have any students that are meeting that State Seal of Civic Engagement. More information on all the specifics of how to upload that data will be coming later. And then you have Flash 269. And this is a long flash that talks about the 2024 summer EBT program. And this was also discussed during the regional meetings. So I'm not going to go over all of that, but just please take a moment to read through it and make sure that you have all your ducks in a row to make sure that your students can get those benefits over the summer. And then last but not least, I want to welcome a new member to our team. Not new to these calls, but new to this side of the fence. Dominic is in the SPED office now, and we are super happy to have him on board. So welcome, Dominic.
Yay! He moved to the dark side, folks.
Okay, I don't know, Angela, Martha, any announcements?
I don't have
Nothing from me.
Okay. And CDE, Sean?
Yeah, so Alex, I just wanted to add something for, I think it's Flash 268, for your civic seal of engagement. Most of your SISs already have a process for collecting this information, so ensuring that this information is going in correctly now for end of year for your SIS system, so that way when it comes time to be able to pull and provide this information, you're already available. Because if not, a lot of your counselors, they might only be 10-month employees, and so you don't want to be scrambling for them trying to get this information and they've already exited for the summer.
Thanks, Sean.
Thanks.
Okay, So we're going to start with questions now, and Rebecca says fall two is finally over. Agreed. Kareem. Hi, Kareem. Question 1 says, in the valid code set document, course group master combos, what does the AD stand for under grade high? And what does the U stand for under meet UCCSU? I believe the AD stands for adult, the grade level. And that I feel like those columns don't really do much. The grade high and lows on those.
The grades, yes, 80 is the adult, meaning that that course can serve as high as an adult. But please be mindful when you're using you're using two documentations together, typically, and that's going to be your actually 3 documents. You're going to use that CFS to cross compare. You're going to use that ballot code combination, and you're going to use the code set for that actual code, whether or not it meets UC or Cal
CSU.
State.
Mhm.
Thank you. Couldn't remember the other acronym. Thank you. If it means UC or CSU standards, is what that other column is indicating. And typically it's going to be, Gary, if you pull up the ballot, I think it's Gary that's driving. I'm not sure. I'm sorry, I missed that part of the meeting. It's going to be in the ballot code combos underneath the courses tab.
And the U means unknown, which means that the LEA has the discretion on determining whether or not it meets UCCSU.
Thank you, Brandy, because I didn't even see that part of the question.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay.
But I think you're right, Alex, I think we removed the validation on courses for specific grade levels because you guys have some genius kids, that are taking pre-calculus in 3rd grade.
Yeah.
So I think we had to actually either demote it to a warning or we just disabled it.
Alrighty. And then we have some people that are sad and happy that Dominic is now joined Brandy's team. Oh, did Gary free? He left us.
I think Gary was having technical issues because he couldn't bring anything up, nor
That's all
did
right.
we actually ever hear him.
That's all right. I will take over sharing. What do you need up?
Right now just the flashes, I think. Because our next question is, when were these flashes sent out? And it was just this week, I think, or maybe Flash 167 was sent out last Thursday or something like that. But within this last 2 weeks from last Wednesday to now, all those 3 came out.
We're seeing your footprints, Paul.
And so the flash went out on 266, went out on 311, that referenced the end of year. I mean, that referenced fall 2, sorry. 267 went out on Thursday, 314. 268 went out on Friday, 315. 269 went out just today's Wednesday, yesterday, Tuesday, 319. I hope that helped.
With the
Back to back.
correction that followed.
Yes, with the
That's
correction
right.
that followed. Thank you. That went out for and thank you to Jan. That went out on well, it went out yesterday afternoon. You could have received it anywhere from 1 p.m. on. It just depends on where you made it in that queue to get sent out.
I'm back. My network decided to go south for a minute, but I'm back. If you want me to take over sharing again, Paul.
Sure, go ahead.
Okay.
All right, we're
I
moving
was like,
on
this
to
one I got everything up.
right. We appreciate Paul stepping in. Jan's Q1 says, I thought the SSCE was not part of CalPES collection. End of year 4. That's right. That states the seal of civic engagement is not going to be collected in CalPADS. It's a separate system that CDE has created. Moving on to Mary Masters, Q1. Regarding Flash 269 for her summer EBT. Whoa. The first pool is on March 29th. Subsequent implies that only info for new students will get pulled. My question is, if a student address changes after March 29th, will the new address be pulled for summer EBT?
To my understanding, no, that is not in the works. So LEA should have a backup. Like before, we recommended you put like the district website or the school not the website, so sorry, the district address or the school address on there, if you knew that student might fall within that category. So that's still a best practice that we would recommend, unless we can get a later date for you at this later date. Mary, but right now that's why we're making sure to try and communicate this information. But please note that it does say first pull, so we are actively working on it. If we have more information, we'll gladly communicate it in the flash.
So isn't that the third bullet there that says ensure addresses are updated? And it says after March 29th will not be used. So just in case Mary didn't see that part.
Terry, Q1, when will the recent flashes be published to the CalPADS page? It's usually pretty
Typically, those get
fast, right?
published 48 hours afterwards, and they're located on, right there. Typically, they get published at least 48 hours after, so you'll see that one isn't there for 267. No, 269. So 267 and 269. So our team's working on it. We do allow, we give ourselves a wait time. I'm not sure who asked the question, but we do give ourselves a wait time just in case we do have to make like any corrections, like we did have to for 269 because we had a date error on there. Because it's a lot harder to correct things on web pages than it is versus an email.
Okay. Sue Ann says, any more genius than Brandy? Probably not, but her actual question is her usual question. I think, Brandy, you know what that is.
Sue-Ann, guess what? I have a new answer for you. I'm passing the buck to Dominic. So, Dominic, when are you going to get? Then you can direct this question to Dominic. So yeah, that's actually one of the things that I'm tasking Dominic with immediately. So he doesn't know it, but I scheduled a meeting Friday to pass the buck. So you can ask him this question next week. So.
Dominic, as the latest newbie, I'll give you a rundown of what other things get passed to you. Okay, you got to come up with a talent and come up with one real quick. Okay, especially if you can't sing. I had to go pull the one off my front lawn just to let you know what that.
Right.
Congratulations on being the newest newbie.
Yeah. For all the folks out there that are like, what are we talking about? It's the SPED data guide. So that's coming. Yeah. Moving on to Nelissa, Q1. SELPA asked her district to download the SELPA approved versions of reports 16.12, 16.13, and 16.14 prior to March 19th, 2024, so that those numbers can be compared to the same reports after the fix has been implemented on March 19. Do you know what was wrong with the following reports, or what should I be looking for?
Yeah, go ahead, Alex.
The reports, and I think this wasn't impacting every single LEA. So that's where it gets a little tricky. But what some LEAs were seeing was that certain students were missing from their 16.14 report. And each revision, they may reappear and then disappear. And so it wasn't super consistent. So it was super hard for us to troubleshoot and to get to the bottom of it. However, that fix did go in but we are working on a slightly different problem now. But essentially, once the reports are officially fixed, then what you would want to do is compare those total counts on the aggregates from the ones that you certified prior, right, in your regular certification to what you're running now on the CELPA report as of today's date, for example. And if those differ, then that's just something I think Brandy mentioned during this bed Q&A that if someone at your district or CELPA wants to get those reports or those counts instead, you would be able to provide them with more accurate numbers. But it doesn't actually mean that you need to decertify or do anything in CalPADS with those. Brandy, I don't know if I.
Yeah, that's perfect. I mean, what we heard was, hey, CDE, we want to be able to provide these counts on these reports to our financial officers for making budget projections and funding allocations. So if you've done that using the old certification reports, and now you see that after this fix, that count has been revised, then you should provide those revised numbers to the appropriate people within your districts, your administrators, your business officers, et cetera.
And then there's a quick follow-up that says, how will I know the new reports will be ready or are fixed?
So so I can tell you that the fix has been implemented. The issue that we're running into now is what it appears is happening is on the student list. There are some kids where you'll see duplicated SSIDs. And what it appears to be is that those students have primary and secondary enrollments in the same local educational agency that overlap. They both overlap census day. That's what it appears to be. So I guess the first thing in terms of identifying unduplicated students, you know that for your purposes of your child count, that student will only count one time. So there's a workaround in so much that every SSID on that report should appear on your aggregate reports in an unduplicated form. But we're just trying to confirm that in the reports. But we do know that in terms of whether or not the students belong on that report, based on the information that was in the snapshot as of, the time that the certification amendment window ended, we know that it's functioning correctly that way. And that leads me to a really important clarification for a lot of you. So when you're looking at these reports and you're finding kids that, based on the data in CalPADS right now, so if you pulled them up and searched on their SSID and based on their data, hey, this kid should have shown up in my certification report. One of the things that we're seeing, and one of the things I really want you all of you CELPA folks and SPED LEA folks to remember, is that remember that when you're searching on an SSID in CalPADS, you're looking at operational data stored data, which means that even though it looks like those records were effective back during census day, they might not have been added until after you certified. So if you didn't add that record until after the amendment window was over and after it was CELPA approved, that kid is not going to show up in those reports, right? So just because their data look like that in the containers when you're doing a student search does not mean that that piece of information was there for your revision and your certified revision, more importantly.
So I would also add, when she asked, how will I know the new reports will be ready? The change that we had to 1614 went in the deployment this morning. We don't have new revisions running, right? It's just you have to re-render the report. If the numbers stay the same, great. You had good data to begin with. I think some people noticed that they were missing students because they just had a way to compare it to something else to know that they were missing. So the reports are there now and we'll generate the right numbers. We aren't missing kids anymore.
we're not missing kids, but we may see kids duplicated. But
Yeah.
I think that's relatively inconsequential.
Yeah.
All righty. We're going to move on now to Rebecca from Lancaster. Q1 says, I know fall 2 is over. Thank you, Lord. But can I ask what the purpose of the middle school course setting indicator is used for, please? There's so much confusion with this. Then each year, new clarification comes out. So when we thought we understood what to do, then we realized it was done incorrectly the prior year. For instance, sometimes our concern is that we have the courses flagged incorrectly as self-contained rather than departmentalized, because sometimes we have both being taught at our middle schools.
Gary, if you pull up the data guide and do a search for element 9.34, it's got a nice comment in there. It's basically used for assignment monitoring. One more.
Right.
There you go. That comment section.
So
Go ahead.
well, I was going to say the middle school course setting indicator, the way I understand it is it's more of a transition for students that are going from elementary into middle school, right? Middle school kind of behaves usually more like your high schools, where you have departmentalized sections, right? Teacher A is math, teacher B is science, teacher C is English. And when you have course settings, you're transitioning those students so that the same group of kids are with that one same teacher for the day. And so that same teacher is teaching English, math, and science, for example. And they may have other teachers as well teaching, I don't know, music or PE or whatever. But that group of kids are cored together with that same teacher on the same day. Yeah. And the purpose of that is because I believe the teacher can be credentialed differently, not departmentalized, but they can have different credentials and it'll be okay, even though you're reporting that section as departmentalized. So you are reporting it departmentalized, right? But you're the standards are middle. And because you're saying it's a core, then that's how the CalSAS knows this one teacher is coring all these different departmentalized together, and therefore they can have this different
right. Specifically, if it's for teachers with multiple subject credentials. So if I'm a teacher with a multiple subject credential and I'm teaching departmentalized standards grades 5 through 8, then it means that I can teach what look in CalPADS like departmentalized courses. So English, history, social science, and science to a group of 8th graders. If the same kids are in each one of those courses, I can mark each one of those departmentalized courses as being part of the middle school core. And then the teacher that has the multiple subject credential is appropriately authorized to teach all 3 of those departmentalized courses because they're being cored together. So it's more a function of making sure that the teacher is appropriately authorized to teach it. So really quick tip. Number 1, if you have a course code 1000, that will never be middle school core. Because if it's a self-contained course, that means one teacher is delivering all areas of content to the same group of kids in the same day. Okay, so you don't need middle school core for course code 1000. Second tip, if you're going to mark a course as middle school core, there has to be at least 2 courses in the core. 2. Okay, you can't just have one course section that's identified as middle school core. You have to have at least 2 sections and they have to be different areas of content. Okay, because you have to core 2 or more content areas for a teacher.
I don't even know how we got on this question because I still see it in the chat, but thanks, both Alex and Brandy. Lastly, people are asking, like, where are we finding this information? If you can please go to the fall regionals, okay? The ones that happened in October. We put up a very lengthy document that Brandy did a complete roadshow on, okay? And it still details middle school core course. This document that Gary is showing, that's the actual Word document of the data guide. And that is on the CDE website for CalPADS and CalPADS documentation. But wonderful, beautiful examples. Brandy even did a kind of like test your knowledge inside of the slides. Again, that PowerPoint, LACO gave us permission to be able to share, and it is in the October regionals. It is lengthy. Read through it, take your time, and go through it. We promise you it's all there.
Thank you both. Kareem, I see your question too. We'll circle back. I think we answered the flashes. Stephanie, Q1 says, when will the code set 15.2 be available? And do we anticipate a lot of code changes?
No, there are not a lot of code changes. It is, I think it's still pending website, right? When I checked yesterday, it hadn't been posted just yet. It is coming though. Stephanie, I don't have an actual release date for it yet. As soon as we do, we will communicate with you. Typically that's going to be in a digest message if I can get approval to put it in a last minute flash. So, or just it may just go out just a letter to the, not letter. Let's take that word back. It may just go out in a message to the CalPADS LEA admin so that you know it's been posted. Alex, I want to go back to someone in the very, very beginning that were saying they weren't getting flashes.
Oh.
Please don't submit a ticket for that. Please, Kyron put some very useful guidance in the chat there, and he's saying make sure that your email, our CDE email is whitelisted, and for that you do so with your IT department at your LEA. So whoever runs that, you need to be able to give them the at CDE end of the web address. It's if they want to do just a single email address, that's fine. But if not, I would just do the at CDE.ca.gov if they whitelist all of those communications for you all. That way you'll receive it if Microsoft has done updates. So if your LEA hasn't processed those yet, yes, you could be very well not getting some of our communications.
Hey, Sean, we had more than one person say that though. So I'm wondering is there a way for you to check to make sure that it did go out to all LEA admins?
Yeah, I definitely will. I'll check in Lyris to make sure too. Yes.
We have H. Nichols from Shasta COE saying, good luck, Dominic. Trial by fire. And then we have Larnie's question 1 says, when a student started CASP or LPAC from one school, then moved to another school within the same LEA, before completing the test, do they finish the test at the new school or do they start over again? Do we know what actually happens in TOMS when there is a change like this? Thanks. I don't know.
Does Brandy recall
Well,
back in the day?
I was trying to
The word's
think,
not there.
I was trying to, I believe that they have to put in a stairs incident. Or you know what, I can't answer it with any sort of authority. So someone from the CalPADS office should just reach out to ETS, or actually more importantly, just reach out to Chad Courtney because he would know. Oh, Karen is saying they complete the test, they don't start over.
Correct. They don't start the test over. It's not going to allow you to start the test over unless there was like some major incident. But yeah, we would hope that you would finish the test before the student moved schools. We understand things happen, and so it may not be preventable. If so, then yes, you put in your testing coordinator puts in a stairs request for that student to then be recognized. You complete your portion of the exit in CalPADS and then the enrollment at the subsequent school within your LEA, indicating that because ETS needs to be able to get that information from us, first and foremost, and what they call like a nightly file process, that you have an exit and then an enrollment. So that's going to match up at your LEA. And then once that stairs request is inserted in, they basically reactivate that student's testing under, it needs to be the same test though. So if that school needs the same test grade. If not, it's various other issues. And then for that, Larnie, yes, I would put in a ticket and we'll pick it up from there.
We're going to move on to Jennifer. Q1, summer EBT. Our Nutrition Services Department is concerned that students who are eligible via alternative income form should not be eligible for summer EBT since they did not submit a lunch form. Can you confirm if the way they are determined eligible matters for summer EBT? Don't know that off the top of my head. I don't know if that's in the flash.
I don't either, Alex. So for that one, I'd say put in a ticket so I can best respond to it because I don't fully know.
Okay. Jennifer, if you could please submit a ticket and we'll get that escalated to for CD to review. Thank you. At 3:26 timestamped, Kyron posted a link to the CalSAS determination page to see more on the middle school course setting. So I do know that CalSAS has some really good graphics on there, maybe the same from the regionals, but you can have a lot more information from that. Here we go. Yeah. Rebecca, I see your question too. We'll circle back. Sinian, Q1. Is there an ETA of the new data guide? I don't
Is there
know.
an ETA on the what?
The data guide, like the OG data guide.
Yeah, this
Oh,
one's 4 years
no.
old now.
No, thanks, Paul. I mean, thanks, Gary.
Yep.
We know that part. No, there's not an ETA on that one just yet. Are we working on it? Yes. I'm still working on the SSID guide, and that one's even older. So give me a minute, okay? Please, thank you. Sorry, I'm a little tired too.
Moving on to Susan. Oh no, we already answered that one. Q3 from Suan. Did I miss the Q2 from Suan? Okay, I'll look out for that. Carla from Desert Sands, Q1. Can I start uploading the EOY extracts, SDEM, CRSC, etc., or should I wait? You can go ahead and start submitting. If you have the data, as clean as you think you can have it based on your SIS data validations, there's no reason why you need to wait. Obviously, your grades won't be completed until the end of the year, but you can, you'd have to do a full upload again once you have those grades in. But for now, yeah, CalPADS will accept them. Rebecca from Fresno, Q1. Does the EOY window open May 6th or May 7th? Thank you. May 7th. Yep, May 7th. Oh, I see Suan's Q2. Okay, I think I got everyone's Q1, so we're going to circle back up and we're starting with Kareem at 3:12. Kareem from Hemet, Q2 says, how would future me join the CSIS team? I'm still somewhat new to CalPADS, but it would be nice to have a future goal. That's awesome. Suan.
So nice. I'm like, oh my goodness. Oh.
Suan says, easy, just learn everything Brandy knows. I don't know if that's an achievable goal, but I think, I don't know, Martha, Angela, do you want to take this on?
Well, Dominic works for the Department of Education. He works for Brandy, right?
Yes.
Not CSIS. We're a separate organization. But you got anybody? Are you hiring any more people, Brandy?
I would love to have additional positions. Probably the budget is not going to allow for it this next year, but we are expanding. So I will tell you this, that if for whatever reason we do end up with additional positions in my unit, I will definitely recruit from LEAs, because the last two people that I've assisted in recruiting, Sean being one of them, Sean Walker for CalPads for my old position, and Dominic, are really great additions because they've already been doing all of this stuff. So if I have any other positions, I certainly will. First place I'll look is within the pool of LEAs. So rest assured.
Your mic got pretty echoey, Brandy.
Oh, again, Zoom always does it. Still, is it like that?
Yep.
Okay, I'll call it.
And then to Brandy's comment, the CalPads office does have one open position currently. It is on that website. I don't even know the name of it anymore.
EdJoin?
No, the Cal Careers. There you go. Okay, and I am putting this in. I don't think this is gonna work. I'm trying to put it in the chat, everyone, but I don't think it's gonna work. Is it saying? Yeah. If you go on the Cal Careers website, it is the Information Technology Associate. That is the title for it, and you'll see within the definition that it says it works within the CalPads office and the early education office as well too. Maybe if I do it this way, it'll come up. Yeah. Hold on. Copy. Hopefully that works. That is how it is, a lengthy process to anyone coming wanting to join our teams. But yes, Doug Hawkins, what was the job title? Okay, so it's a little long. It says job
Information
posting.
Technology Associate.
Yes. It doesn't say that first, Brandy.
It does. It says it at the top of the job posting. It says Information Technology Associate. But
yeah, but what they see first is that long is the acronym, the CAS, the CAPSDAC.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Okay. I will try and put a screenshot in the chat.
Long story short is just keep an eye out for any openings. Once you feel like you're ready, we're happy to have you guys jump on board.
Thanks, Alex, for that wonderful summation. I was trying to get there. I was like, oh.
All right, moving on to Rebecca from Lancaster. Question 2 at 3:14 says, has anyone reported student enrollments not posting when they sent up an SENR and the file said it was posted? I'm submitting a ticket for one student, but another LEA stated this had been happening to them, and she is now comparing the ODS to her SIS for this reason. And we have a couple people saying that they submitted a ticket about this as well.
It looks like they haven't submitted a ticket. They sound like they are going to. So Rebecca, if you haven't submitted that yet, go ahead and ask for me. This is Angela, and include your job ID that if you have one for when it was posted.
So Angela, are you going to do the spiel on what's in the file submission? Because sometimes online maintenance, you think it posts, but the real telltale sign is on the file submission screen.
Yeah, Rebecca knows that, but yeah, but for everybody else, if you're in online maintenance, it lies to you a little bit. Potentially, when you click post, it says it was successfully submitted. That doesn't mean it's successfully posted. So it gives you a job ID. If you click on that hyperlink, it'll take you to the view submission status screen, and you kind of have to watch it for a few minutes. It goes through staging and validation and then posting. So if it has an error, it'll get rejected and it won't actually post. So just a caution there.
Okay. Going to go to Sue Ann's question 3 because that one just comes up earlier than her question 2 for some reason. So 332 Sue Ann's Q3 says, can the testing answer be added to an FAQ as well?
What testing answer?
If
I'm
a
sorry.
student moves from one school to another within an LEA, do they have to retest? I'm assuming that's the one.
That should be within the ETS guides for your testing coordinator. So, and we wouldn't put that on the CalPADS webpage because it directly impacts ETS, more so not us. So we try to distinguish between that information for them.
All right. And oh, Albert, I missed your Q2. Albert Quang at 337 Q2. When can we start getting SSIDs for 24-25 enrollments? Well, CalPADS allows you to pre-enroll 6 months in advance, right?
Correct.
So
Isn't it April? Sometime in April?
It's right now. So you can do 6 months from today. So that puts you in the fall. And just, you know, careful, you may end up having to no-show those students if they don't actually enroll.
So again, these are processes that you all want to ensure that you have met with your team about so that we go back to that RACI document so many times because it is invaluable. So if you and your testing coordinator haven't sat down and gone through all of these steps, you really need to, because we understand that it affects your job as the CalPADS LEA admin. However, it can equally affect their jobs as well too, and the processes they need to do in order to get those families in there early to test. So again, just make sure that you've gone through all of these items because some of these I can tell you guys are missing just because the questions. And if one hand had talked to the other hand, I promise you would have this like process codified out. I know I did to where I even had it and the school sites had it posted up and it could be just a 1 through 10 guide that told them if this happens, what do you do next? If this happens, what do you do next?
we're moving on to Sue Ann's Q2 now at 326. Says, could the explanation for middle school core be added to the FAQ? And Angela provided the link. There is an FAQ on middle school core setting already, but Karen has graciously suggested that he could add it to the user manual glossary as well. So there's that. Yadira, Q1. Hi, Yadira. Oh, this is for Brandy. Says, my SPED coordinator would like to know where in the SPED files can we see the duration of time for services? She mentioned that she does not see that anymore.
So duration should be in, so just keep in mind that there are a couple of containers that you're seeing in CalPADS. There is the serve file, which is the new special education service file, and then there was the old services container. So if you look in that container, I don't believe that duration is one of the fields that shows up on the screen. You actually have to open the record and you have to look in the special education service student container for that specific student service, and the duration should be in there. But it is still collected. It's still there. So service duration right there is 2515. It's just that when you search on an SSID and you're looking in the service container or service modal, you don't see it on the screen because it's not displaying every single data piece of data we collect on that service file. So you have to open it, and then you'll see it within the container.
Doug is asking what the job title is, and I think that's Sean answered that one. Then we have at 3:39, Sean posted the Cal Careers link. And let's see. Yadira says, some of us would love to cross over to the dark side with you guys. It's not that dark. It's actually quite sunny over here. It's great. Okay, and then at 3:41, Sean posted the title, the job title. That's in Cal Careers. Larney's Q2. CRDC is done. Phew. I wanted to know though if anybody knows that when we get a warning from CRDC that states that count is 89% higher than what you reported to SCA, or that was not the value you submitted to SCA. SCA is SCA State Education Agency, CALPADS? I don't know that.
The SEA is a state education agency, yes.
Okay. All
But
right.
no, it's not CalPAT. I mean, no, it's not CalPAT. So you submitted a number before, Larney, that doesn't match up to what you're submitting now, is what that cautions you about.
Well, it depends on what the piece of information is. Sometimes it is CalPATS related. So they do comparisons between other EdFax files that we submit, and a lot of the data from our EdFax files comes from CalPADS data. So it just depends on which error you're getting. So if it's like a child count, then that is very likely coming from CalPADS.
Kareem says, thank you. Did not know about the Cal Career site.
Can I just give one more clarification? So, Larney, if what you're asking for about is the restraint and seclusion data that you're reporting on CRDC, and I don't know if that's what it is, but if it is, if it's the restraint and seclusion information, and what you're reporting in CRDC is higher than what you're reporting in CalPADS, then you know, those data are coming from, the discipline data do come from CalPADS, and we report it in separate files. So just keep that in mind. Yeah, discipline. So all of that's coming from CalPADS. So they do comparisons between CRDC and what you're submitting there versus what you're submitting in CalPADS.
Shelley, Q1. I have a ticket with Angela that has not had a response since March 5th. The ticket number is 303439. Would you please check on it for me?
Yeah, I was actually looking at that this morning, Shelley. I got caught up in fall too, so I put that on my back burner. So I will be responding to you shortly.
Rebecca, Q2. Do you have an estimated date on when EOI trainings will begin for CalPADS coordinators?
Middle to end of April.
Soon. I think that's it. If I missed your question, please repost it. I think I got everyone. So this is the part where we ask Dominic questions, right?
Can we
Yeah,
quiz him like Jeopardy?
Yeah.
Alex, because Alex made me give my full life story. It was okay though.
Dominic, where did you work before Fresno? Or have you had your whole career at Fresno?
So Fresno was my first experience in education. Before that, I worked in database analysis, particularly for marketing efforts for a local gaming, like a local casino. And I had done that for 10 years before getting into education.
Oh.
Does that mean you know how to count cards?
No, if I did, I would not have been on that side of the table.
All right.
I see Rebecca is asking a loaded question. Who is my
Yeah.
favorite person to work with?
Tread lightly there.
I'll say everybody, but especially Brandy.
Right? Need to say my favorite Rebecca to work with at Fresno County Superintendent of Schools was you, Rebecca.
That's my answer.
Well, if that's it, I guess we can call it. Oh, Heather. Heather Defeat says, apologies if you already covered this. For end of year 4, when can I access those reports? May 7th.
Yeah.
May 7th is when those certification reports will start running.
Oh wait, no, Heather, that's for the LEAs. That's not for you. I had to read. I was like, Heather's at the state level, not the COE.
SELPA.
SELPA.
SELPA. Okay, good. Thank you.
But she has access to her LEAs.
Yeah.
And Kareem has the Q3, says, any chance CalPads will be queryable in the future? Finding a lot of mids at other LEAs while working on ERDs.
That's not something that we see in the near future. I love the suggestion, but for security reasons, no, not really. But we'll gladly take it under advisement.
Kareem mentioned that they're new, so just a tip, if you find a mid that is not detected by CalPads, there is a function on that mid screen to let you combine those two SSIDs. It's called resolve mids not on report.
I sometimes don't see what you guys see in the chat. I swear I don't.
Well, Alex, I promised you a 15-minute Q&A.
I know.
Yeah. So are we good to go?
Thank you, everybody. We'll see you next
Thanks.
week. Well,
Bye.
I won't. I'll be
Alex.
on vacation, but
Oh.
everyone else will be here.
Enjoy, Alex.
Bye.
Have a good time.
Bye.